Welcome to our weekly coaches interview with Coach Damon Floyd of the Bradley Central Bears. As always, our interview is brought to you by Cleveland Collision Center at 2901 Water Level Highway. Visit them today for any of your automotive repair needs. You can check them out online at clevelandcollision.com. Coach Floyd, we last Friday went to McMinn County, our final game of the regular season. We had a good first half. Second half didn't go our way. We knew McMinn was tough. Maybe a little better than I thought they were going in. I don't know what I judged that on, because I hadn't seen them this year. But we jumped out. They hit the first play for a touchdown. We came back with 3 quick scores, and then momentum shifted. And once that momentum shifted, it was all on McMinn County side.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been that way all year. We're two totally different teams in different halves. You know, sometimes it's the first half, sometimes it's the second half. But the bottom line is we've not really put together a complete game, and you know, that falls on me. I don't have them ready. You know, to start the game sometimes I don't have them ready after halftime. So it's frustrating as a coach. I think our kids are giving great effort. They're doing what we ask. You know, for the most part, everybody makes mistakes, and we're just not able to put together a complete game right now, and really hadn't been all year. So that's the frustrating part. But, you know, McMinn, you got to give them respect. I mean, they're 9-1. Yes. You know, one team they've lost to is Maryville. You know, and it was back and forth until the end. We just couldn't get a stop. Offensively, we couldn't get the chains moving. It seemed like every time something would happen offensively, we would start off behind the chains with some kind of penalty, and you know, really hurt ourselves. And I guess you could say composure probably became an issue. I know I lost it during the game, towards the end of the game. So it was just a frustrating part. So, you know, during those times of adversity, we probably just need to stick together and overcome it together. And, you know, just overcome adversity. There's no other way to put it. We had adversity hit, and we didn't overcome it.
Well, we ran out of time. You know, we're going to score points, and obviously we scored there late in the game, pulled within 3 points, and had a turnover there, but which helped them put the game away. They didn't really do anything, caught you off guard. I think you pretty much knew what to expect, and you knew what they was going to try to do, didn't you?
Yeah, there was no secrets. And we've talked about it all year, and I think if you ask any football coach, sometimes scheme can hurt you. I don't think, if I went back and watched the game, obviously, I don't know what else we could have done differently other than, you know, get off blocks a little better, tackle a little better. I think you got to give 17 credit. You know, sometimes we got him bottled up and he's making us miss, and then when he outruns you, I mean, you know, that's tough. So, yeah, you got to work on leverage and that kind of thing, but it's a whole lot easier said than done. You got to give 17 credit, and we did not play up to the level that we wanted to play for 4 quarters. There was some bright spots, but then when he broke it, I mean, you know, he was gone and he outran us. So defensively, it's kind of been that way all year, tell the 2 halves, and it, you know, it's frustrating.
We were talking off the air here earlier. He may be one of the best running backs we've ever seen, but you mentioned another guy that comes back to haunt us, if I recall. Tell us, who was that now? Blackman?
Yeah, Tavius Mathers. It's been 4 or 5. I don't even know how long ago it was now. I know Bryce Copeland was playing, Justin Houston, Rugosa, all those guys. But we went up there. He ended up playing at Ole Miss. He's a pretty good back. But Blackman, you know, they got some talented players, and I think he rushed for over 300 yards as well. And actually scored on the very first play, just like Hunt did. So, you know, you face a lot of good players. Sometimes that happens. And you know, we're just still trying. Well, now at this point, I think what we do is you put it behind us, and it's a new season. Everybody's 0-0. Your main goal throughout the season is to make it to the playoffs. We've done that. So we got to focus our attention on Farragut. But, you know, it's hard coming off a loss to one of your rivals in an intense game.
Yeah. Well, Farragut, we've played him a lot. We're going to take a break here, and we'll come back and we'll look at Farragut, who we've played, let's see, 12 or 13 times. And unfortunately, we have 1 victory against him. We'll return here on the Buzz 101.3 with games supplied to you by Wholesale Supply Group after this message for Cleveland Collision Center. Back to Coach Damon Floyd here on behalf of Cleveland Collision Center, looking at this week's upcoming game on the road at Farragut. Coming off the loss last week, we ended up in the first round of the playoffs for the 10th straight year. That's a great thing. And the fact is, does the fact that we played them early in the year, very first game of the year, back in the searing heat of August, now we're going to play them in the coldness of November, would you rather play somebody like that you've already seen once, or that you know a lot about, because they know a lot about us, or would you rather be somebody totally that you've not played all year? I mean, does it matter?
I mean, honestly, I think at this point, for me personally, I don't know how kids feel about it, but you get another chance. You get a second chance at somebody that beat you. I don't know why you wouldn't want to play against Farragut. We have a lot of respect for them, and I'm definitely not going in and guaranteeing a victory or anything, but you get a second chance at someone that you felt that you should have beat. So, you're going to have to beat the good teams at some point. Farragut's had our number for a long time. You hope to turn those tides at some point, so I don't see why this week can't be the week. We'll prepare as hard as we can, and yeah, there's no secret. But really, I guess with us and that other region you match up against, when we went with the Super 32 for those 2 years, we played all those teams up there. So we're familiar with, no matter who our opponent would have been, I think we've played all those guys at some point, the last 3-4 years. And then you get so much film on everybody.
Yeah.
There's no secrets. I mean, once again, it's about blocking and tackling. But if you asked me after the first game, we take a loss, would you like to see them again? Yeah, I think we would.
Yeah, I think I've talked to the kids. I know they would. They feel like they let us down and let themselves down when they had the turnovers and gave that game away. 37-30 the score, by the way. Let me ask you this about Farragut. Do you, getting prepared for this game, do you go back and look at the first game, or you look at films that are more current to see if they've changed? Do you see any difference from the first game of the year to now in what Farragut's doing or successful at, or much changed?
Yeah, we look at everything.
Okay.
We look at every single film we can get our hands on, and we spend a lot of hours as a coaching staff trying to prepare and make sure that there's no secrets, and every formation we've seen that we line up to correctly. I mean, it's a lot. If you were being honest, you're probably looking at Saturday was about 6 hours of film work. Sunday was about 8 hours of film work before the kids come in. So there's a lot of preparation. I don't think it's anything that any other coaching staff doesn't do. I mean, but there's a lot to cover. I mean, for Farragut, they run 18 different formations, and we break it down pretty. I mean, we can break down a formation depending on if the fullback or H-back's lined up inside the tackle, outside the tackle. There's a lot of variables that work inside those formations where you just try to get a tendency and get a head up. But have they changed a little bit? A little bit. The first game of the season, unless you have a whole lot of returners back, you don't really know who you are. You've done scrimmages, but and then you lose guys throughout 10 games throughout the season. Guys are going to get hurt, and so some guys are out. So you get their base and get it philosophically what they're trying to do schematically. But yeah, it changes from game 1 to game 10. Now we'll see we looked at how they attacked us and how we attacked them, if there's anything we can do better. And you still got to, within your scheme, run your base stuff because you can't change who you are. But there's a lot, by week 11, man, there's a whole lot of tendencies that our kids are responsible for keeping up with, and it's a lot. It's a lot on a high school kid to keep up with those tendencies.
Well, does the other region, which is Kingsport, Science Hill, Bearden, and Farragut, did it surprise you how that final thing stacked up there with the 1, 2, 3, 4?
If I'm being honest, I know because I didn't know. When you get in the season, I mean, you may look at a standing of who beat who or something on a Friday night, but I had no clue of how it was going to end up. Obviously, we played Bearden, we played Farragut, but those other teams I had no clue about. So we just really try to focus on us throughout the season. I didn't really know how it would end and what players they had coming back for certain teams. I mean, you kind of think that Farragut's going to be in the top 4 because they have been for so many years. So, but other than that, no, not really.
Well, nobody's going to feel sorry for us, and as you'll say, it is what it is. But boy, we have gone through a slew of injuries, major injuries to key players in the last few weeks. That next man's got to step up and take care of business. That's all we can do. Yeah,
and it's tough. I know other teams are losing players too. But I know you interviewed Jake Tipton and Jared Fox. You're talking about 2 guys that they've had their shoulder surgeries planned for December, I think 19th and 20th for those 2 guys, and they're playing through it. I don't think people on the outside looking in understand really what some of our kids are playing through. You look out on the field and you see them and they're playing hard and they're giving great effort, but I'll tell you this, there's not only Jared and Tipton, which I have a ton of respect for and their teammates do too, what they're playing through, there's more than those 2 guys that are playing with a lot of injuries and they're sucking it up on Friday night because they realize this is it's a great time in their life and they're not ever going to give it back. So. And I'm sure that's what high school football is about. There's other teams doing it too. I'm not saying we're the only ones, but if some of the people knew what some of our kids were playing through, I think they would earn some respect.
Well, I'll tell you what, I admire those guys for playing through that. We've got, of course, Saylor's been hurt. Ashton had a bang last week. It just seems like it just.
Tucker Thompson's missed games. Tucker Steele's missed games.
Yeah. Tucker, of Carpenter's missed games.
Brandon Cruz has been out. Yeah, the list goes on and on. I shouldn't even start naming them.
But it's just it's the same way everywhere. I mean,
It is.
It's 10 games into it. And 6A football is a rough and tumble sport. It's not fanny waist flag football. It is hard-nosed, big-time football, and folks should appreciate that. We hope to have a great crowd out there Friday night. We need your support at Farragut High School. It's the closest Knoxville school to us, probably all the 6A schools, just right there off I-40 as you go into Knoxville. So come out and support the Bears Friday night, folks, and join us on the Buzz 101.3. Starting at 5:30 now. We'll be live 5:30 this week because the kickoff is half an hour earlier for statewide for all the playoff games. We'll have our coaches report with Coach Floyd, our interview with Jake and Jared this week, our award-winning football panel as well. Join us with Coach Winstroyer, and he will be streaming that live this week on NHFS Network. It'll be live streaming with our audio coming to you on the Buzz 101.3. So tune in, watch it, come to the game though, and support us. We need you there, folks, in the body if we can get you there. So long for now. We'll just sign off saying God bless and go Bears.